Okay. So we will be continuing our sociology, and the topic would be on neurophysiology of pain, right? Mhm. Can you see the screen now? Is it visible? Hindi pa?
Okay na po.
Okay. Naririnig niyo ba yung ano? Maingay ba? O okay lang? May narinig ba kayo maingay o wala naman?
Meron
Kasi
po.
wait lang, ilalayo ko lang siya. We have a seminar para kasi sa grad school. Mapapagalitan ako pag di ako nag-login. So nag-login lang ako ha. Kaya ilalayo ko lang. So this is neurophysiology of pain. We will be discussing here the wait lang, Lalayo ko. Yan. Okay. Um, Here we will be talking about the resting potential. We will be talking about the um, repolarization, depolarization state. We will be talking about the nerves, basically, right? So let's first define some terms. We have here anesthesiology. When you say anesthesiology, it's a branch of medicine that pertains to the study of partial or complete loss of sensation or feeling. It is induced by the administration of various substances called anesthetics. Okay. Then we have anesthesia. Anesthesia is a partial or total loss of physical sensation, particularly of pain due to disease or certain drugs. Anesthesiologist, on the other hand, is the physician of a special training who's responsible for administering general anesthesia. Okay, so GA. Anesthetics, these are the substances, either a drug or gas, which produces anesthesia on the body. And of course, we have analgesia. Analgesia is the inability to feel pain. Okay. We also have here neuron. Neuron is a nerve cell. It is a structural unit of the nervous system. Okay. It's able to transmit messages between the central nervous system and all parts of the body. We have two basic types of neuron, as we have discussed earlier. It's the afferent and the efferent nerves. Okay, sensory is the afferent, while efferent is the motor. Okay, you also have different parts of the neuron. You have your dendritic zone, you have your axon, axon terminal, and the cell body. So during your high school days and elementary days, I'm sure you're familiar with this drawing of a neuron. Okay, you have here the cell body, the dendrite, the axon, and the axon terminal. Okay, dendrites basically is composed of arborization of three nerve endings. When you say arborization, it means it's fine branching structures at the end of the nerve fiber. Okay, basically it brings information into the cell body, right? So dendrites would be bringing the information towards the cell body. Cell body is basically known as your soma. Sometimes it's also called your pericardium. Okay? Cell body is not involved in the process of impulse transmission. Okay? The primary function of your cell body is to provide metabolic support for the entire neuron. Okay? Then we have the axon. Axon is a thin cable-like structure that may be quite long. Okay? Basically, axon would take the information away from the cell bodies. Okay? They conduct electrical impulses away from the neuron's cell body. Okay? So transmits information into the different neurons. And of course, the axon terminal. Axon terminal contains various neurotransmitters and they release them into the synapse. Okay? As you already know, synapse, these are small gaps. Okay? So synapse looks like this. They are small gap at the end of the neuron. Okay? Gap na yan. This gap would allow a signal to pass from one neuron to the next. Okay? They're found where nerve cells connect with other nerve cells. You basically have the synapse or the small gap at the end of the neuron. So the function of the nerve is to carry messages from one part of the body to another. These messages in the form of electrical action potential are called your impulses. Okay? Impulses can either be initiated by chemical, thermal, mechanical, or electrical stimuli. Okay? The appearance of the neuron that you're used to, sabi natin kanina, it looks like this, di ba? This one, this one. However, this one is a motor neuron, okay? That's a motor neuron or your efferent nerve, okay? Efferent neuron. The sensory neuron or the afferent nerve looks like this one. Ganyan. Cell body is here. Okay? For the motor neuron, the cell body is there, the end. Okay? For sensory, it's here in the middle, right? So these are the parts. You have your dendrites, cell body, axon, okay, central process, right? So let's differentiate motor neuron from sensory neurons. According to the appearance, okay, according to the structure, your sensory neuron, okay, would have a cell body, long dendrites, and short axon. Okay, while your motor neuron, you have a cell body, then you have short dendrites, while you have longer axons. Okay. In terms of function, sensory neuron, okay, as we have mentioned earlier, they carry signals from outer parts of the body into the CNS, so towards, okay, the towards the brain or towards the CNS, while your motor neuron away from the CNS, okay, outer parts of the body. Receptors are present in sensory neurons, while they are absent in motor neurons. Okay. And in terms of location, sensory neuron are found in skin, eyes, ears, tongue, and nose. Okay. While for motor neuron, they're mainly found in the muscles and in the glands. Right? Ang bibo ng classmates ko, nakakainis. Ang nagsisend sila ng screenshot, I'm here. Visit ako. They're sending screenshots sa GC namin. They're present. Anyway. So, pain. We have already defined pain earlier, di ba? Sabi natin, our keyword here is unpleasant emotional experience, and they're initiated by a noxious stimuli. So remember noxious because pain receptors are the nociceptors. Para it's easier for you to remember. Just like earlier in the post test, di ba? Sabi ko sa inyo, remember LLL. Lofgren, lignocaine, lidocaine. All are related. Okay. It's easier for you to remember. So you should be able to formulate such things para when you take the exam, you can easily recall. Okay. So let's talk about the nerve conduction. Nerve conduction is the self-propagated passage of an electrical current along the nerve fibers. Okay? Conduction of an impulse depends upon the electrical potential that exists across the nerve membrane. Okay? We have here what we call the active transport. Okay? So active transport is a type of cell transport that would require input of energy. And the energy here is in the form of your ATP. I'm sure you've heard of ATP before. That is your adenosine triphosphate. Okay, you have one adenosine, you have three phosphate ions. Okay, one example of your active transport is your sodium potassium pump, and I'm sure you've heard of this term before. Maybe you forgot already what it does, but I'm sure you've heard of this term. Okay, so let's talk about the sodium potassium pump now. Okay, what does it do? How does it work? Okay, so this is your sodium potassium pump. Okay, basically it moves the sodium out of the nerve. Okay, and the potassium into the cell or into the nerve. Okay, so sodium out, potassium in. Okay, sodium out, potassium in. So sodium would go out, potassium would go in. However, if you look at the shape of this pump here, of this gate here, you would notice, di ba? The potassium ions are shaped here, represented by triangles, while the sodium ions here are represented by circle. Okay, and if you look at this channel here, sodium potassium channel, okay, how many potassium can fit in this channel? Ilan yung kaya niyang i-accommodate? How many potassium can be accommodated here? 2, di ba? You have here 1, 2. Then, how many sodium ions can be accommodated here? Can accommodate 1, 2, 3 sodium. Earlier, I've mentioned that for sodium potassium pump, sodium goes out, potassium goes in. So basically, how many sodium ions goes out? Sabi natin 1, 2, 3. For every 3 sodium ions that goes out of the nerve, how many potassium ions now would go inside the nerve? 1, 2. So for every 3 sodium ions that comes out, there are 2 potassium ions that goes inside the nerve. Okay. Also remember that this is the inside of the cell. This is the outside of the cell. Okay. You have your extracellular fluid here. You have your intracellular fluid here. You have your lipid bilayer here. Okay. So we mentioned earlier that sodium potassium pump is one example of an active transport. And an active transport would require energy in the form of ATP. Okay? So meaning to say, for this sodium potassium pump to work, para mag-work siya, you need adenosine triphosphate. Okay? You need an energy in the form of your ATP or your adenosine triphosphate. Right? So for the binding site of your sodium, you have 3, and you have 2 binding sites for the potassium. Right? So let's say 3 sodium ions went here, nag-bind sila in this pump. For this pump here, to open, you'll be needing the energy. This is your adenosine triphosphate. If you don't have the energy, this will not activate. Okay, this will not open. So since we have adenosine triphosphate here, what will happen now? This will now open. And what will happen to the sodium? It would be able to go out now. So from the inside of the cell, it's now outside of the cell. Okay. Then once your sodium ions goes out, potassium ions now would bind there also. And there are two potassium ions here. Okay. Then once potassium ions binds here in this pump, it will now be released inside the cell. Okay, that's what happens. All right. You also need to know that um, the inside of the cell, okay, the inside of the cell is tawag dito. Wait lang ha. This would have different charges. The inside of the cell would have a different charge compared to the outside of the cell. Okay, so basically the inside of the cell is more more negative compared to the outside of the cell. It's more negative compared to the outside of the cell. However, if you look at the sodium ions, if you look at the potassium ions, both would have a positive charge. Diba? Sodium ions, Na plus, potassium ions, K plus. Why is it that both are positive? However, the inside of the cell is charged more negative. It's more negative compared to the outside of the cell. Because aside the sodium and potassium ions here, there's also a presence of a larger negatively charged protein inside. Okay, so it's not just the sodium, it's not just the potassium that is contained inside the nerve. Okay, so there is also a larger negatively charged protein present here in the inside. Okay, that's why the inside of the cell is more negative compared to the outside of the cell. Okay, you still with me? Kaya pa? Okay, so again, the inside of the cell, it's represented here, is more negative compared to the outside of the cell. The outside is more positive. Okay, so I've mentioned also earlier that there are negatively charged proteins present here in the intracellular fluid. Okay, so adenosine triphosphate, okay, is a substance that would provide energy so that sodium would be expelled out of the nerve. That is the role of the ATP in the sodium potassium pump. Okay, basically we have three types of gated channel. Okay, so the three types of gated channels are your voltage gated channel, you have your ligand gated channel, and you have your mechanically gated channel. Okay, the voltage gated channel, okay, open and close in response to change in membrane potential. Okay, basically an example of a voltage gated channel are your sodium channels. Okay, because your sodium channels would open, mag-open lang yan If the stimulus is around negative 55 millivolts, it will not activate if you don't have negative 55 millivolts. Okay, so it's called voltage gated channel. It can be activated in the presence or in the response to membrane potential, which is negative 55 millivolts at least. Okay, anything lower than this value, it will not be able to activate this channel. It will not open. All right. Ligand gated channel, on the other hand, okay. So for this one, you have here binding sites, as we call it. Okay, ligand, okay, basically is a Latin word. Okay, in Latin, or in English, ligand means to tie or to bind. Okay, to tie or to bind. You need to say something needs to bind here for this to open. That's why it's called ligand gated channel. Okay. So what can bind here? It can be in the form of anions, cations, okay, or a neutral molecule. Okay. Examples of your ligand gated channel are your, I'm sure you've heard of this in pharma, nicotinic, okay, cholinergic. Okay. So nicotinic cholinergic channel, a channel is an example of a ligand gated channel, but we won't be discussing this in detail. Okay, I just want you to know that would open in response to physical stretching of the membrane. So the membrane is being stretched. Okay, basically movement of the ions is the key. Okay, to all the electrical events happening here. Kailangan ma-stretch siya for this to open. Okay, an example of mechanically gated channels is the hair cells in the inner ear. So the hair cells in the inner ear would convert the mechanical stimuli, okay, and they would now be providing sound waves here. Okay, so that is your mechanically gated channel. It responds to stretching. Like a gated channel, you need something that would bind here in the form of anions, cations, and neutral molecule. While your voltage gated channel, you need a certain membrane potential, which is negative 55 millivolts. Okay, what we will be discussing here is this voltage gated. Channel blockers. Diba? Narinig nyo ng calcium channel blockers. What are calcium channel blockers? These are drugs that are taken or given on patients who has hypertension. Diba? Antihypertensive drug. So a calcium channel, okay, this can be gated by voltage, okay, or ligand. Okay, it can be voltage gated channel or ligand gated channel. So dalawang type siya. Okay, if you're not familiar with your calcium channel blocker, you have your amlodipine, nifedipine. Diba? Ano pang sabi? Nicardipine. Basically, the suffix of your calcium channel blockers are pin. Okay. Other antihypertensive drugs, which I'm sure has been discussed last week, are your beta blockers. Okay. Beta blockers ends in what? What's the suffix for beta blockers? This is ends in pin. Beta blockers ends in olol. Okay? Ano, okay na yung sunog? Pauwi ka na? Person one. Okay na. So, beta blockers ends in olol. So you have here metoprolol. Diba? You have your carvedilol, nebivolol, propanolol, okay? Atenolol, okay? So remember yung olol for beta blockers. For calcium channel blockers, remember PIN. We also have a third group of antihypertensive drugs. And these are your ACE inhibitor. Okay? ACE inhibitor, ACE here stands for angiotensin converting enzyme. So these are angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. And what's the suffix of ACE inhibitors? The suffix niya. Pril. Diba? You have the pril. Ano ba example? Captopril. What else? Enalapril. Enalapril. Very good. Lisinopril. Okay? These are just some of the example of your ACE inhibitor or your angiotensin converting enzyme. Okay? So let's now talk about the electrophysiology of nerve conduction. Okay? So we have here the resting state, depolarization state, and repolarization state. Okay? So in resting state, okay, the nerve membrane is, so basically there are more sodiums outside the nerve and there are more potassium inside the nerve, because earlier in the sodium potassium pump, we mentioned that sodium goes out, potassium goes in. And for every 3 sodium that goes out of the nerve, there are 2 potassium that would go inside the nerve. Okay? So more sodium outside, more potassium inside. Okay? That is at resting state. Okay? There's no stimulus. Okay? Walang pain being felt sa patient. So during resting state, the resting potential or the charge of the intracellular nerve or intracellular fluid is at negative 70 millivolts. That's the charge. So this is the nerve, intracellular. This inside, charge na is negative 70 millivolts, meaning to say this is at rest. There's no pain, there's no stimulus, okay? The patient is not in pain, right? Again, this is the diagram, okay? Inside of the cell, outside the cell, inside the cell, negative 70 millivolts, okay? What would happen now if there is a stimulus or if there's an action potential? May stimulus. Tusok ng ballpen si patient, na-incise, nahiwa siya ng surgical blade, okay? Puncture ng elevator si patient. You now have what we call action potential or stimulus. Okay? So if the action potential, okay, that was introduced equals negative 55 millivolts or exceeds negative 55 millivolts, this would be activated. Okay? This would be activated. But if it does not exceed negative 55 millivolts, this will not be activated. Diba? There are times wherein gusto kayo ng ballpen, na-puncture kayo sa hand. Pero you did not feel any pain. Diba? Because it means that you were not able to reach the threshold, which is negative 55 millivolts. But in cases wherein you reacted to pain, it means that you have reached negative 55 millivolt, which is the threshold. You call that all or none phenomenon. Okay, it's either you reach negative 55 millivolts or not. If you reach this one, okay, I'll open. But if you did not reach this, okay, I will not activate. Okay, ganun siya. Let's say you're able to reach now negative 55 millivolts and this would open now. Okay, what would happen? Your nerve now would undergo a depolarized state. You need to say there's stimulus, okay? You need to send signal sa brain so that the body can react to the stimulus, okay? So during the depolarization state, okay, the voltage gated sodium channels would open. Okay? Kasi you're able to reach again negative 55 millivolts. Let's say nag-open na siya. Nag-depolarize yung nerve. What will happen now? Okay? These channels here now would open. And look what happens. Kagalaw yan. May animation. Okay, sodium ions would go in. Okay, sodium ions would go inside the nerve. Okay, earlier during the resting state, we mentioned that the inside of the nerve is at negative 70 millivolts. Diba? Resting state. But in depolarized state, since this sodium channel opened, okay, nag-open siya, these sodium ions, Na+, would now be able to go inside the nerve. And if there are more positive sodium ions that would be going inside the nerve intracellularly, okay, what will happen to the charge of the intracellular fluid? This charge would change. Okay, it will now become positive. From negative, since sodium ions went in, it became positive now. Intindihan? Intindihan? Hindi. Balik tayo. Resting state. Okay? Resting state, the patient is not in pain. Okay? Inside of the cell, it's negative 70 millivolts. Okay? There are more sodium out of the nerve and more potassium inside the nerve. But if there's a stimulus of negative 55 millivolts, since you need to send a signal to the brain, your sodium ions would now open, causing an influx of the sodium. Papasok na si sodium. There's influx of sodium, which would now cause a change in charge of the intracellular fluid. Naintindihan niyo? Naintindihan or hindi na? Bahala ka dyan. Tatapos din yung topic na yun. Naintindihan niya? Gets niya? Madali lang siya. May drawing naman. Di ba pumasok siya? It went in. So this would change in charge. Okay? So since there's a change in charge, this now becomes positive. The inside becomes positive. Okay? Outside becomes more negative. Di ba earlier, during the resting state, what's the charge natin? During the resting state, outside is positive, inside is negative. But during the depolarization state, it changed in charge, meaning to say there's reversal of polarity. There's reversal of polarity. So due to the influx of the nerve, or yeah, influx of the sodium here, what would happen now? I think my animation audit here. There's reversal of polarity, as I've mentioned earlier. So at rest, it looks like this. Look here, it's a screen. At rest, inside is negative, outside is positive. But once there would be an influx of sodium ions, what would happen? there's reversal of polarity until such time that the impulse would be transmitted towards the brain. And it would now signal your brain to react. You need to react. You need to say, ouch. Okay, so again, the reversal of polarity going to the brain. Okay, so basically, you need depolarization for you to be able to react to pain. Diba? You need to have the nerve in a depolarized state. You need to have reversal of polarity so that the patient would be able to react to pain. Okay, so once your brain has already been informed that there's a stimulus, okay, that there's a pain stimulus on a certain part of the body, what would happen now? Okay, your nerve now would be going back to its resting state. But for you to be able to achieve that, since the nerve was depolarized, you need now the nerve to be, repolarized. There should be repolarization of the nerve. Kasi sabi natin, during depolarization state, the inside of the nerve became positive 40 millivolts. Para maging resting state siya ulit, what do we need? What charge dapat yung intracellular nerve natin? The intracellular fluid. It needs to achieve a charge of how many millivolts? It's a resting state. It needs to be negative 70 millivolts. Diba? So for you to be able to achieve this, what should happen? Okay. So it's now the role of your potassium. Okay. The voltage gated potassium channel. Gumalaw ba? Yeah, the voltage gated potassium channels now opens this one. What would happen now? Potassium now would go outside the cell. Lalabas yung potassium. Like that. Lalabas yung potassium. Okay. The efflux of potassium ions would now cause a drop in the charge intracellularly. Okay. And the drop in the charge would reach up to negative 75 millivolts. And Doc, sabi ninyo, you will just need to achieve negative 70 millivolts. Why is it that during the repolarization state, due to the efflux of your potassium ions, it's able to achieve negative 75 millivolts? That's called hyperpolarization. Pinasobrahan lang niya ng konti. Okay, let's exceed a bit beyond negative 70 millivolts. Para we're sure that we would be able to achieve the negative 70 millivolts that we need. Okay, so that is hyperpolarization. Because of that, you would now be able to achieve the resting state again, which is negative 70 millivolts. Okay? So nag-elevate ka ulit. You did not add anesthesia. Nag-elevate ka ulit. So there would be depolarization state again. Your patient would say, ouch again. Okay? Okay? You always want depolarization of the nerve. And how would you prevent depolarization of the nerve? What would prevent the sodium ions from going in? How would you prevent the sodium ions to go inside the nerve? Gagawin ninyo. And what caused ba the influx of sodium? Saan yan? What caused the influx of sodium? The ATP. Paano nakapasok yung sodium here? How did these sodium ions enter here? What happened here? What happened here? Nag-open siya. Diba? So for you to be able to proceed with your procedure, surgical procedure, you want to prevent these sodium channels from opening. You want to somehow block these sodium channels. Okay, bawal, you cannot open. I'm doing the surgery. Okay, because once this sodium channel opens up, okay, there would now be transmission of the impulse going to the brain. So even though you're incising, you're cutting, you're elevating here on this tooth here, no matter how hard this nerve here is trying to send the signal, it's not able to do so because the sodium channel here has been blocked. Na-block yung sodium channel here. Okay, I need to send signals sa brain. Let me in, sabi niya. No. Blocked. Bawal dumaan. You cannot pass. Diba? That's why when you're doing your surgery, the patient is not feeling any pain due to the role of your anesthesia. Okay? And what did the anesthetic do? That's what we would answer, diba? Sabi natin earlier. Your here. How do local anesthetics function to abolish or prevent pain? They are the ones responsible in blocking the sodium channels. They're blocking the sodium channels. Okay, that's why earlier I've mentioned that for the maximum effect of local anesthetic, how many nodes of Ranvier should be blocked? To be able to block 2 to 3 nodes of Ranvier. Okay, so if you're able to block 2 to 3 nodes of Ranvier, sabi ni saltatory conduction here. And saltatory conduction. Okay, saltatory, jumping. Wait lang. It's too long. I cannot jump. Diba? Cannot transmit the stimulus going to the brain. Kasi masyadong wide yung gap. Okay? So again, for you to be able to maximize the effect of your local anesthetic, you need to block at least 2 to 3 nodes of Ranvier, and you need to be able to deposit your solution 8 to 10 millimeters close to the nerve. Did you get it? Naintindihan niyo? Nagets niya? Okay? So saltatory conduction, I have already mentioned earlier. Myelinated nerves and unmyelinated nerves, I have also mentioned earlier. Okay? So the concept behind the action of local anesthetics is simple. They prevent both the generation and conduction of nerve impulse. Okay? Local anesthetics set up a chemical roadblock, okay, between the source of the impulse and the brain. Therefore, the prevented from reaching the brain is not interpreted as pain by the patient. So basically, let's say in the brain, okay, this is the nerve, okay. And you know natin, you're doing surgery here on this area here, since you're able to block the sodium channels here, okay. impulse, even though it reached the negative 55 millivolts, okay, cannot transmit it towards the brain. Kasi nga, you block the sodium channels, preventing the influx of your sodium ions, preventing the reversal of polarity, preventing depolarization of the nerve. Okay? So, ganun siya. Okay? And once the anesthetic solution wears off, what would happen now? Sodium channels would slowly open, and patient now would now be able to feel pain because there's already an influx of sodium ions. Kasi nga, sodium ions are activated already and they are not blocked anymore with your by your anesthetic solution. Gets na? Clear? Questions? Wala? So resting state, what is the charge intracellularly? What is the charge intracellular? Resting state. Negative 70 millivolts, di ba? And what should be the action potential for you to be able to open the sodium channel? What charge should be able to reach up to negative 55 millivolts, diba? All or none phenomenon. Okay. And once there's influx of sodium ions now inside the nerve, what will happen to the charge intracellularly? From negative 70, it would become positive
40.
40 millivolts, causing reversal of polarity, which now able to reduce saltatory conduction and ba't baliktad yung drawing? Saltatory conduction, which would now signal the brain, okay, to react. Kaya yun yung sensory. Sensory is always towards the brain. Diba? For motor, it's from the brain. You'll be commanding your, let's say, hands to move. You'll be commanding your legs to move. That is motor. From brain, from CNS, towards the periphery, towards the extremities. But for sensory, it's from the periphery going to the CNS. Para you can react to pain. Okay? So if you don't have any questions, let's have the post-test. We'll open again Kahoot.it. We'll answer neurophysiology of pain. This is post-test 3. Mahaba naman ito. Wait lang. Ano maikli? Kasi it's 30 items. Tayo maikli ha. Neurophysiology of pain. Wala eh. 30 talaga eh. Sorry. It's 30 items ha. You can review the same questions when you prepare for the board exams, okay? Because the questions here were lifted directly from the past PRC board examination, most, okay? Those are the questions. All right. Sino sumagot ng stem cell? Aspirin is NSAIDs, no? Antihypertensive. It's electric potential kasi it's voltage gated. Okay? Voltage gated channel. Yun yung pinakamadali. Hindi pa na perfect.